Hello, everyone. All right, so I wanted to give a quick little rundown of how I'm tackling the new year, how you can join me. This is not there's no like being judged or anybody keeping track of you. This is just something that I personally kind of love to do um, at the beginning of the year because now between Christmas and the new year, we've had a little time off to kind of collect our thoughts, kind of revamp for the new year, get a feeling for where we want our life to go in the new year, things that we've done in the past year that made us happy or didn't, and we can make changes to evolve into the next year. And the overarching thing that we need to keep in mind here is how are we going to keep ourselves organized? It doesn't matter how many goals you set, how many resolutions you want to make, how many changes you want to do until you get yourself a little bit organized. And in that way, you can keep yourself accountable to what you're doing. So, I'm just talking about things that work for me. If you have something else that works for you, feel free and let me know in the comments. I would love to know what works for others because maybe other people also work in the same mindset as you and not like me. But first things first is I love to use a paper planner. Mine has a overview for the month and then it has a weekly layout. I also love to use a notebook to kind of keep track of my thoughts. It's not a journal. It's just like I am an artist for a makeup program. I have like a side gig, the blog here, and some different things. So my thoughts like to go in here. Otherwise, I get too many pieces of paper laying around and can't keep track of it all. So there's that. I also use my phone to keep a digital calendar, and as soon as I like make an appointment at the doctor's office, that goes in there. So it's kind of twofold for myself. Everything in my digital calendar is basically up to date and ready to rock. I've transposed a lot of that into the paper calendar because I like to have that overview right in front of me of what's going on and when it's going on. And then I also like to make notes of like, because I have two kids with food allergies, how they acted, what daycare they were at, because we kind of are in between daycares. We got a lot of things in limbo. So that's why I like the paper planner, because then I can go back and be like, oh, okay, this happened on that date, whatever. Or moving ahead, I like to make notes that for my makeup, I want to post about this on this date. So here's a reminder to do that. There we go. And in that planner, I also like to keep track of like how many times I've worked out or not. That ebbs and flows, but these are just different things. And they're a great way to keep track of your habits. So we've got our planners and the way we're keeping ourselves organized. So think about that when we start the new year. And then what you want to better yourself with this new year. Number one for myself would be finance budgeting. My role is changing a little bit within our household and our incomes will be changing. So we're going to kind of crack down on the budgeting items. I like the Mint app. Again, do the prep work now. So when we start the new year, we kind of have the baseline established. So I think I'm going to actually switch to a paper, spreadsheet instead of using an app. I think paper will hold myself more accountable. Like I said, kind of getting established so we can move forward at the beginning of the year. So finances, meals and meal planning. Meals, I'm pretty good at that, but here are some of my tips and tricks to get you started going into the new year. Go through your pantry, go through your freezers, go through your refrigerator, establish what foods you need. And I personally am looking at using the Cozy app to keep track of our pantry and like meals and things like that. If you've used that, please let me know again in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And then also start to make a list of meals you would like to use throughout the year. I have a list of about 45 to 50 meals that are kind of like go-to, easy to make, ones that I know I have recipes for and can quickly make for a list for a week's plan. So kind of establish your recipes as well. And then also just think about what like personal goals you want. Do you want to exercise? Do you want to read? Do you want to get up before your kids every morning? Do you just want to practice gratitude more? Whatever. So get that established as well. So now when we meet again, I'm just putting up videos and you can come back and follow along as you need to. But when we meet again, kind of have these things established and in place and your list ready to go, so that when we bust out our planners and we bust out our calendars and get ready to start in a couple days, you can do that. So that's kind of my goals for you guys, to like the to-do list, and where we're going to start with this. So like I said, get yourself a planner or whatever, or find yourself a good, I like to use the iCloud calendar because Noah, my husband, and I can share between our phones, and we have a another shared calendar as well. But that's what the one I use. So if that's not a, if you want to use Google Calendar, all the power to you. I have no preference. This is just a way that we can live a wholehearted year, and a way to kind of get ourselves on track for the new year. So there's your to-dos. Hope to see you guys in a couple days.